In wine, when you say the word Bordeaux, a lot of people think of these really classy, expensive wines, things like Latour, Lafite, things like Petrus that can go to 900, even $5,000 a bottle. But in reality, those real big name wines make up less than 5% of the production in Bordeaux. The region of Bordeaux is named after the city of Bordeaux in France, which is actually the second most visited city in the country behind Paris. It composes of over 6,000 producers spread out over 100,000 hectares. That's like 250,000 acres of vineyards. The greater appellation Bordeaux is broken into around 60 sub-appellations, so there is a lot of wine to be had. In fact, most of the wine produced in Bordeaux is pretty darn good value for money. In fact, I believe it's one of the best value for money regions in the world still today. The region of Bordeaux is really synonymous with the world at large today, where the upper class are becoming more and more powerful and everybody below is really struggling to sell wine. That's the bad news for producers. The good news for you is because of a string of excellent vintages and stocks are starting to back up, you can get some of these red wines that are aged quite a bit at really bargain prices. Here today, I have 8 different Bordeaux's that are under 30 bucks, some of them even under 20 bucks. I even have a Kirkland signature Bordeaux from COSTCO that comes in at $14.99. When you think of Bordeaux, you think of the terms left bank and right bank. On the map, that's the left side of the Garonne. There in the Médoc, Cabernet Sauvignon dominates, whereas on the right bank, Merlot dominates. Those wines tend to be a little bit softer, a little bit more approachable young, and in my mind, offer ridiculous value for money. You'll also have sweet wines, and don't sleep on white Bordeaux, made of mostly of Sauvignon Blanc and Semillon, although the grape Muscadel is also permitted. Let's get into it. I'm not blind tasting today. I know you guys like the blind tasting format, but for me, it's super stressful. As a one-man show, I have to get somebody to help me out. I even made a video about the whole process of putting together a blind tasting video. I'll pin it in the top comment below. Let's start out with some white Bordeaux, shall we? Some of these wines were supplied to me through French Libations. It's a company that helps small producers in France get into the U.S. market. I bought a couple of the other ones just to make this a more well-rounded video. First, I have the Chateau Reynaud Lacoste white Bordeaux. This comes in at 15 bucks. This is 100% Sauvignon Blanc. A lot of people think of Sauvignon Blanc from New Zealand or the Loire, although its origins may be in Bordeaux, we don't know. Cabernet Sauvignon is actually the offspring of Sauvignon Blanc and Cabernet Franc. That happened sometime in the 18th century. In general, the best white Bordeaux's are going to have the appellation Passat Léognan on them. It used to be the Grave, but now it's changed over to Passat Léognan. But you can see whites made under just the generic Bordeaux appellation as well. White Bordeaux is a category at large that has lost its luster. Sauvignon Blanc from Bordeaux is not as powerful or as pungent as those you'll find in New Zealand, or they're not as minerally as Loire. I actually like white Bordeaux, especially when it's barrel fermented. Let's give this a little bit of a nose here, shall we? Smells like Sauvignon Blanc, but not so powerful. Smells French. Now, here's the thing. At first, the nose was impressive. Then it became a little bit muted. Now this becomes just kind of like a generic-y white wine. I smell a little bit of kiwi, just a little bit of grass, just a little bit of like a cantaloupe or a honeydew melon. But in general, it doesn't have like the precise chiseled flavors of a great wine. Let's see how it's on the palate. What I like about this wine, wow. Nose was not super impressive. Mouthfeel was really good. That's why, man, besides Riesling, which I love to death, I think in general, the French are maybe the best at white wines in the world overall. Even in this affordable wines, there is weight texture here. There is not a lot of finish. That's the only thing that bothers me. But man, on the palate, this has weight. It's not overly sour, not overly acidic. For 15 bucks, you can do a heck of a lot worse. For me, the greatest wine in the world, no, it's not for me, 87 points. I think it's solid. At 15 bucks, I would recommend it because you also get the taste of white Bordeaux. Again, it's just not the greatest white wine in the world, but it is representative of Sauvignon Blanc and Bordeaux in general, or white Bordeaux in general. Let's move on. We have the La Orangerie de Carignan Blanc, 2023. I know the Chateau is east of Bordeaux in the Entre de Mars region, which means between the sea. This is a classic blend of Semillon and Sauvignon Blanc. I've seen this in France under 10 euros. It looks like in the US can range anywhere from 12 to 17 bucks. Semillon is a grape that I actually really like. Some of the more famous varietal ones are the ones from Hunter Valley in Australia, although you have to age those for a long time. It is a grape that's the foundation of white Bordeaux. I do like that it has like this natural gassy type smell to it, especially when it's aged. This, to me, smells more interesting than the first wine. The Semillon kind of gives this, it kind of calms down the Sauvignon Blanc. It's not as austere, it's more chalky. I do get that hint of natural gas. I get this nice lemony note. I kind of like this, the nose at least. Semillon's a grape with high in acidity. It's racing through a cister. Some people might think that this wine's a little bit out of balance because it's got so much acidity that kind of drowns out the fruit. If I could put the palate with the first wine with the nose with this wine, I think it would be extraordinary. Again, 2023, this wine might, some of the biggest joys I've had in life, in my wine life, that is simple, affordable white wines that you don't expect to age, but then you open them with age and they're good. I think this could age a little bit. I think this is a better wine than the first wine. I'm going to give it 88 points. I think the first wine, though, is something that's going to be a little more friendly to a lot of people. This is more for wine geeks, but I thought that was pretty nice. I saw on Wine Searcher, again, if you can't find some of these wines, go to winesearcher.com. I put all the wines in the description box. All you have to do is copy and paste, find one near you. I found it in the US for $10.99 at one point, and if you can grab that at $10.99, I would highly recommend that. That is nice. This is the same producer. This is the Orangerie de Carignan, Cadillac, Côte de Bordeaux, 2020. This comes in at 15 bucks. This is 60% Merlot, 20% Cabernet Sauvignon, 20% Cabernet Franc. Cadillac Côte de Bordeaux is on the right bank, so Merlot is dominant there. This, I think, is maybe like the second wine of the Chateau. I don't know the Chateau that well. I haven't tasted any of these wines except one. Let's see how this is, shall we? Again, 15 bucks. This is a wine, 2020, very nice. I mean, Bordeaux had a string of really nice vintages. 18, 19, 20, 22, which I really like for approachability. And we have a few today because they're powerful, plush. They're the type of vintage that can help produce or help people cross over into Bordeaux if they're used to like more sweeter fruit of California wines. Let's give this a go here. So I like the leafiness right away. This to me smells a little bit like Loire Cabernet Franc. So I get a little bit of red cherry. I get that leafiness. Greens, I get a little pencil lead. For a $15 bottle of wine, the nose on this is very good. This also drinks more like a Loire Cabernet Franc. Cabernet Sauvignon can be quite leafy as well. Have those pyrazine notes. It's not full body, it's more medium bodied. This is more of a food wine. This is more of like a bistro in Paris. I'm eating some steak frites. I ordered this by glass for a couple euros. I'm super happy. Is the greatest wine in the world? No, but it's got the acidity and structure. I think it would age, maybe even put on a little bit of weight. For a $15 bottle of wine, if you want Bordeaux character, very good. 89 points. I think it's super good, super well made. I'm impressed. Like I said, I haven't had some of these wines before. Cadillac, Côte de Bordeaux, Blanc, Castillon, Côte de Bordeaux. These are appellations on the right bank that you can just get tremendous value for money. Producers know what they're doing. The wines are super well made. That's good, for 15 bucks. Let's move on. I'm excited about this producer. This is the Chateau Peyrabon. This is from the Haut-Médoc, the Haut-Médoc. Médoc is on the left bank, left side, so more Cabernet Sauvignon. This is a Bourgeois Supérieur. 2022, this comes in around $17.99. I bought this wine from the shop that I work at because I wanted to show it. This is owned by the same family that owns Domaine de Chevalier in Peyrabon, one of the great white Bordeaux producers, although their reds are amazing too. Another like hot tip, if you're looking for value for money in Bordeaux, look for Cru Bourgeois. It's a group of estates. They weren't included in the 1855 classification of those real high-end expensive Bordeaux's, but they wanted to come together so they could sell wine. And let's give this a go here. I don't know the actual blend of this vintage because in Bordeaux, the blends change every year because the weather isn't the most dependable. Actually, if you're in Bordeaux during harvest, sometimes I wonder how organic viticulture is actually possible there. Because it is humid. You're right on the Atlantic. I've been there at harvest time a couple of times. It is humid there. 2022, fantastic vintage, riper, warmer. This smells serious right away out of the glass. Wow. I mean, much more intense than that first red Bordeaux. You got pencil wood, you got tobacco, you got, I say red cherry, black raspberry, earth. A lot going on in this. This is the type of wine also that crosses over people that like more California wines because the fruit seems pretty ripe. Excellent for the price. Not for somebody that's going to like that Cayma style. It's too fruity, but you like European wines that are a little bit more ripe. This is outstanding. 91 points. I've had this, got this nice tangerine peel tanginess on the back end. Man, very good. I've had this wine aged before, and it does age well. At $17.99, especially if you like me and you like the taste of Bordeaux, which this has Bordeaux taste, why not buy a case of this and throw it in the cellar? Got some structure. That's super good. This is the Chateau Courbian. This is the Médoc 2018. Won a gold medal at one competition I was actually invited to once, although I never attended. This is, even though it's in the Médoc, which is supposed to be more Cabernet Sauvignon based, usually the cheaper wines on the left bank have more Merlot. This is 65% Merlot, 35% Cabernet Sauvignon. This comes in at $20. By the way, I know that all these wines are in the USA. You just might have to hunt a little bit. But again, I told you about Wine Searcher. I caravan these wines because, you know what, I don't drink a ton at home, especially because I'm traveling all the time and I'm wine trips. I'm usually drinking there with long dinners and stuff. I like to revisit these wines or share them with friends or family or coworkers because I don't want to feel the pressure to drink them all and get fat like I was in the past. So let's move on. Not as an exciting nose as this first wine, unfortunately. It's got some black cherry, got some kind of muddy type flavors, like where the flavors are not as precise. It's almost like, again, I use this comparison all the time. If you have a fresh fruit, like a fresh orange you picked off the tree, you open up versus like a supermarket orange, the fresh orange is going to be more defined, more crisp, more linear. That's this wine. This wine is not. This is more like the supermarket orange. 2018 was a warmer vintage. I actually like the 2018 Bordeaux because you drink them right away. I have quite a few in the cellar, actually, some classified growths, but this smells a little tired, to be honest. This tastes developed round. More development than a wine this young should be. I'm actually quite disappointed with that wine. I'm going to say around 85 points. I don't think it's awful. I think it's just a little bit tired. It's not something I recommend. Let's move on. We have not much more to say. We have the 2019, which is a vintage I love all over Europe. The Chateau Lagrange Lussac Saint-Émilion. That's the appellation. This comes in at $22. This is 100% Merlot. So, close to Saint-Émilion, which is a more famous appellation. Let's see how it is. I like these lesser-known appellations next to the big appellations, like you have Pomerol in Bordeaux, but you also have Lalande Pomerol. That's a more affordable appellation. Saint-Émilion wines can be affordable, but then you have this one, Lussac Saint-Émilion, 100% Merlot from a vintage I love. Let's give this a smell. Nose, a little bit shy. Let's shake it out, shake it out. I'm not a Swiftie, but I do like that song. Okay, I would never guess that this is Bordeaux if you serve this to me blind. It's got, let me explain here, black cherry, black raspberry, but it's got a lot of tangerine peel-like flavors. I get in Sangiovese and sometimes Syrah, especially from the Northern Rhone. Okay, never mind, some stuff's coming out, a little bit of tobacco. This smells like good red wine, but it doesn't smell like red wine with character thus far. Palate is excellent. So much fruit. The tannins grip the palate, but they don't. You can drink it on its own. Of course, it's going to do with meat. There's a spike of intensity on the back end. The nose, I was a little bit worried, but man, the palate brings it back so much that I would give this 90 points. For a $22 bottle of Merlot, I think is excellent. It's got nuance. It's a wine I think that can age. I'm pretty impressed with that. Nice wine. I know I have 3 wines from Chateau Carignan, but that's what they sent me. This is the Prima, the 2018. This comes in at $29, so the most expensive wine in the bunch. This is 100% Merlot. Côte de Bordeaux. Let's give this a taste. So I can see on the palate, it's a little bit darker, denser, so more serious wine. This has got a little bit of funk, a little bit of VA, which I have no problem with. I like it. It's a little bit stinky. I like it. It's a wine like with character, like somebody with some dimples. There's a little bit of imperfection. This smells really good. Like black cherry, that funk, that VA. I love it's sweet cedar. I actually might think this is Tuscan wine. If you gave it to me blind, I think it might be I would think it may be Chianti Classico, so that's maybe why I'm all perked up, because I love that region so much, and the grape Sangiovese. Tangy, rich, mineral notes. My only detractor, if it was a little bit longer, I think this could be an ethereal wine, but I still think it's very good. This wine has character. I want to drink it. This is the 2018 Alvin drink. This is the best wine, in my opinion, so far. 92 points. The most expensive, but I love that it has character. I love the tanginess. It's grippy. I would love to dominate this with like a supreme pizza with like a little bit of sausage and stuff on it. That's good. Let's follow it up with a wine that I know a lot of you are wanting to know about, that you can find. This is the Kirkland Signature Bordeaux Saint-Émilion Grand Cru 2022. 83% Merlot, 14% Cabernet Franc, 3% Cabernet Sauvignon, $14.99. I saw this when I was in Costco last week, so I said, you know what? Let's get it. It's great for the thumbnail, and people want to know. So let's see. $14.99. Saint-Émilion is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's a beautiful, beautiful village on the right bank of Bordeaux. You see a lot of Saint-Émilion Grand Crus that are affordable. That's kind of a misnomer. Like, I feel like anybody can be a Saint-Émilion Grand Cru. Then you have Saint-Émilion Grand Cru Class A. Then you have Saint-Émilion Grand Cru Class A B, and then Saint-Émilion Grand Cru Class A A. I know, which is confusing, but those are supposed to be the best. I know the French appellation system, especially in Bordeaux, and it's really all about money and marketing, because you want to get on those lists, because then people want your wines. Let's give this a little bit of a smell here. Okay. Some Kirkland signature wines are very good. This one on the nose is super disappointing for me at first compared to these other Bordeaux. I just smell a little bit of wood, a little like a bit of blueberry. This does not smell like Saint-Émilion Grand Cru as I know it. I'm used to some kind of mineral type notes in Saint-Émilion Grand Cru. It's not bad red wine, but I think it was disappointing following the last one. Black cherry. It's just kind of it just smells like red wine. It first is plush and round. It doesn't come together. Then it kind of falls off, and you're just kind of left with tannin on the back end. I'm just being extra critical because I know a lot of you will have access to wine, want to get it. I think it's solid red wine at $14.99. Is it blowing me away? No. 88 points. I think there could definitely be more nuance, more complexity. It's solid. Kirkland sometimes hits it out of the park. Sometimes they don't. So tell me, do you love Bordeaux? Do you buy value Bordeaux? Have you tried any of these wines? Do you like white Bordeaux? I'd love to hear. Drop it in the comments below.